Failed to... Sorry, guys. Not sure what happened there. I think the platform just crashed on me. Streamlabs. It's very rare that that happens. So we're back. Thank you, Chung Fu.
Peace, beloveds. I do not know exactly what you have heard. I'm celebrating you, all of you who have come to this earth to bring the love divine, to be the heart divine here on the earth. And we are all giving thanks to the Divine Mother, the Creatrix, the love presence within all of you, as you are the love presence within the earth, carrying that divine power in your heart, radiating it out. Holding this love, resonating the sound of love, the taste, the feel, the touch, the beauty, the sight, all the senses of love, the fragrance of nature, the fragrance of every being who brings their special essence to dwell upon the earth. And dwelling upon the earth brings the divine heart to radiate upon the earth. Within each of you, a limitless capacity for love. You are multidimensional, magical, remarkable, extraordinary beings. Within you is the power divine, as you are within the heart divine. The wonder of the heart divine is in you. The power of love, the supreme power. Whatever may be shown to you at this time, wherever you may be within what is being brought forward, all the suffering and the pain that is being brought to the surface to be healed, to be lit up, to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be understood, even in its negativity. As that is happening, each one of you is getting stronger, more and more conscious, building strengths, consciousness, and understanding that you never have built before. This is a very unique life for all beings upon the earth. Those like yourselves who are ready for the truth, who are reaching for the divine within, who are living your lives according to your soul's purpose and understanding. You know many things that others do not know and do not understand or have forgotten or have walked away from willfully, intentionally. But whichever way it happened that they became separated within their minds and hearts and bodies from a divine source, that is never the end. That is just a part of the story. As each soul progresses, emanates from the divine source, and takes their own path of evolution as they awaken to understand the potential. So it is important to remember not to focus with your anxiety or concern upon those who feel or who you feel have gone the wrong way, or have gone in some way you would not wish them to go, or have made decisions you're upset and unhappy about, because each soul must walk through their own unique initiations. And where you might read something from this angle and see from the top, and it might be very clear, they might be looking at it from underneath. Have you ever looked at language in the mirror backwards? And they can't read it, and they don't understand. And you are calling, saying, look, see, I can see, but they can't see. But it's all right. Understand the love in the vast cosmic heart that holds the light and the dark, that holds what you term good and what you term evil. This cosmic heart is so vast, beloved. And when you understand and can expand and allow yourself to grow that big with your limitless love, your unconditional compassion, with understanding that is beyond the mind and judgment, beyond so much that can limit you, and especially that can bring you to places that are separated from the divine. When you see it and you realize, that is it, I'm seeing it, it's being shown to me, the darkness, the pain, the sorrow, the confusion, the despair, the terror. When you realize it's being demonstrated, sometimes that is within me, sometimes that is within another, and I am being shown. I am being educated. I'm being taught. And this is very challenging. And you awaken to understand the extraordinary power of the cosmic divine heart that we call love. But perhaps in your life you have thought of various kinds of love. There are different ways you love. Different ways you love your partner, your child, your parent, your friend, your animal, the land, the earth, the elements. Many kinds of love. But if you could name every single kind of love, that includes compassion, forgiveness, that includes surrender, adoration. When you include every possible angle of love, you will begin to understand the extraordinary nature of creation, this creation, and many creations that have emanated from the heart divine. So right now, beloved ones, Zhongfu knows you're dealing with a lot of weariness, exhaustion even. Many of you have been separated from your family, isolated in places you did not expect to be for long periods of time. Many of you have been tested in your faith. Is there really this divine love? when so many are suffering, seemingly without remedy being possible. Because indeed, perhaps you do not understand fully how each soul creates their journey, the possibilities, the probabilities, and that within each soul is that divine power, that cosmic heart, waiting to be taken up, to be entered into, and to enter into each soul. You feel inside your being, beloved ones. Take big breaths. Relax deeply your muscles, your body, and come inside yourself to pay attention to you, how you are in this moment, with just your breath and your body, which of course you are feeling with your heart and seeing with your mind. Take your breath a little slower. Begin to imagine your heart expanding, growing bigger and bigger as you breathe. And imagine your chest expanding. And as you expand, you realize the light is coming in from all around. You are simply absorbing it, drinking it in. As it comes in, it fills you. It fills every cell of your body. Can you feel how hungry for love every cell of your body is? How grateful that you decided in this moment just to fill up with love. Divine love. Unconditional love. It does not waver according to your behavior. It does not go away because you judge that perhaps you're not as good as you were yesterday, or you didn't do as well as you perhaps did before, or some reason you are criticizing yourself or feeling not so great today. The cosmic divine love is always there. Does not depend upon you. It's always there. You can always absorb it, drink it in, feel it literally healing inside your being, the very essence, your energy field, the core of you. For even as you imagine it coming in from around you, outside, it is in fact rising up from inside. Many have been taught not to say that you are as wonderful as God, Goddess. Perhaps your parents said, you can't say that, because they did not understand that they themselves are the divine. That the divine presence, God, Goddess, or so-called Great Spirit, Living Spirit, the universe, Source, these words that humanity have invented to indicate an awareness, a consciousness, a reality, the presence divine. The more still and quiet you become, the more relaxed and surrendered and open you become. You'll find you can feel that presence humming inside you. It is the life force, the divine force of love that is life, that creates all that is. And it is flowing through you. This force of life, force, power of nature. Feel it, it's inside you, moving. Sometimes it moves as emotion, takes you deep into wells of grief and sorrow. Sometimes it lifts you up and you feel you're a bird and you could fly high in the sky and look down and feel the elevation of your spirit and feel unaffected by all earthly chaos, despair, and pain. Feel how inside you the divine presence simply is, beaming, humming, resonating. Feel the earth around you beaming, humming, resonating. You are, beloved, one with the divine. You dwell in the heart of the divine. And words can barely touch this mystical truth of your being. Because it is your heart that is the vessel of this perfect love. And all the processes of your becoming, all the pain, suffering, all the initiations, all the losses, all the grief, these are the words for deep experiences of love, of the darkness and the lightness, of the depth and the height, of the breadth, of the vastness of the expanse of love. Notice how I am using the word in so many contexts, how I am bringing in all aspects of your experience, all of creation, because it all dwells. All that is dwells in the heart of love, inside the divine heart. There is nothing that is outside. There are those who would perhaps have you believe that there is a true separation. God is on one side and the demons, they're all on the other side. And they give them names, give them personalities. But one day, in your evolution, you will understand these are human concepts, human creations. And they are important for the temporal life, for the life in the third dimension, here. This physical, emotional, mental, sensual life where you are dwelling in your bodies. These concepts are for the dark light experience. And sometimes that experience, as now, becomes extremely extreme. Because that is part of this initiation that you have chosen in this physical realm. To experience the beginnings, the middles, the ends. To experience birth, evolution, expansion, diminution, contraction, death. To experience pain, pleasure, sorrow and grief, joy, delight, beauty, and so-called ugliness. These are experiences of your soul. And what is important for each and every one is that you bring them into the heart divine. You bring them into the temple. You offer them in the temple of light. You bring all your experiences as offerings to the divine. They are all sacred. There is no part of your experience that shouldn't have been. Oh, I made a terrible mistake. I turned the wrong way in my life and now I'm stuck down a no-through road. Well, no, because it was a wonderful exploration, or it was a terrible exploration. But you learned everything that was to be learned along that so-called no-through road. And you discovered it was a no-through road because it wasn't where you wished to go. And that was a teaching for you. Those who wanted to go that way, they might have dwelt there. There are many people who dwell at the end of a no-through road. Maybe they are protecting themselves. Maybe they are wanting a very quiet life. But if it was a no-through road, then you decided to come back to your soul's path. And that is the most important teaching for you that comes from your heart. To learn to love every moment for what it is and to listen to your heart, which will always tell you through those emotions, through those sensations, where your divine heart is calling you. Because it is only you who can lead yourself to where your soul visions, to where your divine heart leads. Only you can know. No one else can tell you that. Many, many teachers there have been throughout time. And you yourselves have been teachers. There are many levels of understanding, each one perfect in itself. There's no judgment. Oh, I'm just down here, or someone is up here, or there's another way that's better than my way. Your way, your truth, your heart's love, your deep knowing is the perfect way for you. This is really and truly something you are being shown in your world right now. Because what has happened over time, and I think many of you may have seen this, is that many women and men, and not all women and men, but many, in many senses the vast majority, have forgotten this truth, this deep knowing that is there in every indigenous ancient culture you would ever meet. It is there in the body. It is a deep knowing of the oneness of all of life. The way that nature is in a perfect balance if left to be in that perfect balance. And that humanity can be within that nature in perfect balance because humanity is part of nature. And this oneness extends in the deep knowing of your indigenous self, for it is still there, your indigenous self. And that deep understanding of oneness extends to the divine. And so the language evolved. That includes all of life in the heart of God, Goddess. That no being is separate, not the smallest animal, not the tiniest drop of water, not the lightest breeze of air is separate. It's all contained in this vast oneness, this perfection that is the divine creation. And the evolution of the human soul here upon the earth is a most special journey, a most special and extraordinary opportunity for each soul to remember the divine nature. Because ultimately, and as I say, these are words that attempt to approximate this wonder, but ultimately that is your awakening. That basically anything that separates you from the divine anything at all, any feeling, any words, any being, any experience is nevertheless, in fact, what teaches you to come back to the divine. And so thus you can see that there is nothing at all that is not ultimately both emanating from the heart divine and bringing you back. And it is a constant cycle. This is the cycle of creation. This cycle at this present time for you all. There have been so many words spoken, so many stories told, so much pain experienced, so much confusion generated. It is easy to understand how that can feel in your body, heart, and mind. How your mind might be working overtime to try and compensate for the negativity you often find around you at this time. In the bodies, hearts, and minds of those perhaps you walked with before, something different is happening. Perhaps they did not have as much resilience as you did. Perhaps they did not understand as deeply the initiations and opportunities that have been brought forward Perhaps they lost a part of themselves. Perhaps they allowed themselves to be badly abused, hurt. Perhaps they found themselves in extremely difficult situations. There are many reasons why some of your friends may have moved away from where you were together before. So remember, beloved, although it may seem that they have departed, that they are no longer one with you in the heart divine where you wish to stay. Perhaps you are grieving the loss of some beloveds in your life, dear ones. I certainly know many who are. But just remember, the divine heart is as great and greater than all the universes. So they are there, beloved. And at the appointed time, they will return. Even if it is not in this time. And so, it brings me to remind you that love is beyond time and space. And in order to be in the love, you do need to remember that and come away from the smallness, come away for a certain amount of time each day from feeling in any way attached to what is happening upon the earth, to come back to the vastness of dwelling in the divine heart. Because you need it. You need that unconditional love. You need for your body, heart, and mind the power of divine love to flow from the source as it does when you are inside the divine heart. The ever-flowing wonder, the cosmic presence, the Christ-light divine, and all the beings who dwell beyond time and space in the worlds of light, in the higher dimensions, the higher fourth dimension, fifth, sixth, seventh, and divine dimensions. And as we are together here, feel those dimensions within your being, within your breath, as you relax and allow that pure love to simply be, to embrace you. Because the receiving of this divine love, you might have forgotten. You need to remind yourselves, if you have, and come back to dwell in the love of the divine heart. In every religion, in every faith, in every spiritual path that is connected and at one with the divine source, love is central. Love is the theme. Love is where you come back to. Love is what calls to you when the times are hard. When you are angry, afraid, desperate, bruised, hurting, abused. in loss or grief, despair. Only love from the source within you is then able to come forward and receive the love from others, to remember the oneness in your body, heart, and mind, and be able to lift up and draw in the cosmic presence, the divine love that is your essence. Everything in the whole universe, here on earth and in your individual life, emanates from the heart divine, from love. Some beings go through eons of deep, dark forgetting. We do not need to describe them. We do not need to be concerned, because that is their choice. And they do know, though they have forgotten, that they are still held in the heart divine. They struggle. They try to leave, but they cannot, because that is the universe. Feel what I'm saying and understand this power of divine love that encompasses all that is constantly creating more and encompassing it. Because it is the feeling in your heart, the deep knowing of this truth, your strong faith in your oneness with extraordinary, radiant beings of light. This is what gives you the power, the personal power in your life. This is what enables you to be the shining, radiant examples to those who need to start remembering. Those who are crying out for help to turn around, to return. So, beloved ones, it is why I am here amongst you. It is why all who have come from the ascended realms, other dimensions of light within the heart divine, it is why each one came forward. It is why there are religions, faiths, pathways to the divine. You yourself came to do this, to radiate love. Deep within you, you do know that everything else is there to teach you to love more, to come back from the edge where you might feel you would just topple over into something that is not love. Everything that you experience that seems to be counter to love, beauty, kindness, compassion, peace, harmony, everything that opposes those divine qualities, those words that denote states of being, of divinity and presence divine within you. Everything else is simply experience that is offered for you to choose to return to the center of love, to remember. Because all your sensations, have you noticed, they're all geared for love. Oh yes, you may know those that we are indeed including here that do not seem to remember what that is. They do not seem to be able to love. In your deepest heart, you cannot help having compassion for those who have forgotten love, who have lost themselves, who do not realize that love is all around them, that they could come back any moment. They could just turn around and walk the other way. Oh, your heart, your Christed heart, is bound to feel compassion for the lost souls. And there are many right now. Many of them also know they're getting lost and are trying desperately to come back. The love is so strong at this time on your earth. And even though many of you have been perhaps separated and had many, many difficulties, you will notice as you come back together that you have grown incrementally, that the power of love within you is greater than it was before this experience. And the power of your creativity, as you begin to come back to your life, as you begin to manifest the creation power, the cosmic love divine in the new earth creation, you'll just think, my goodness, I had no idea I had built all this strength while I was being shut away and curtailed and diminished and frustrated and stopped. I had no idea that I was actually growing stronger. Because you see, beloved, if you have survived this, if you have come through, if you are here now listening to Chung Fu and others on the inner plane, it is because your love has grown so strong. It is because you have surmounted so many obstacles. It is because you have dug so deep in your grief, in your loss, in your pain, in your frustration, in your anger. That you found love at the bottom of the well that you thought was dry, but you found another level, a deep, deep love that dwells in the never-ending source divine within you. Sometimes you go through a time in your life and you really think, that's it, I'm never going to love again. I'm so hurt. I'm so devastated. I feel so wronged, so abused. I'm never going to love again. But let me tell you, beloved, it's impossible for you not to love again. You are the living spirit of love. You are love as the living spirit. You are here incarnated to bring the living spirit of love, ever more alive in form, in beauty, in all that you do, in actions, in words, in music, in song, in dance, in practical ways, in science, in healing, in the wonder of your connection with the power of nature, in all the elements. You simply are the love. So think of those times. Perhaps you have worked with me individually. The times when you just can't find the love. You're just so angry. You're so upset, so devastated in your human being. In this finite being that you have made. And we work together. And after a while, perhaps you remember some of these processes, you come into a new state. You accept yourself. You basically love yourself again. No longer have you been pulled down the no-through roads of the negative emotions that don't go anywhere. They have to flow. They need the water, the air. They need to move through the fire. They need to dissipate into the earth. They are part of you. And when you express them in that beautiful, flowing, allowing, understanding, embracing way on the main path without taking them off and burying them and taking them down side roads that where no one can see you and no one can love you and hold you. No, when you let it all flow, accept it as part of the main path of your life. And you're not going to edit away all these glorious, extraordinary, powerful emotions. You know they are needed for you to come to the depth of your love. Every part of you is needed. And so, beloved, feel what is within you right now. And especially anything so-called negative. It might be small things that have happened today or the other day, or might be very big things. But whatever it is, try to embrace it. Because everything that is happening in your life is a wonderful opportunity for you to grow. And growing means loving more. Those of you who nurture life, children, animals, plants, you know that when you love the plants, the animals, yourself, your environment, it grows more beautiful. It grows stronger. It starts to blossom. That's love that does that. So remember, when you love, when you hold as acceptance, when you have emotions that are not love, you have to hold them as acceptance. This is a form of love. When you accept that this day you're just not feeling that great. You're unhappy about something, upset. Something has disappointed you. It didn't turn out the way you wanted. Perhaps the whole situation upon the earth feels like that to you. But remember, it's given to you because you gave yourself to come upon the earth and be here and be the container of the heart divine on the earth, in your body. You came here to do this extraordinary task of transformation, which I've been talking about with you for years and years, and taking you deep within to understand for a long time. because you are coming back from a darkness of forgetting, of illusion, of being, well, in many senses, deceived, not understanding, not being taught the truth. But you are here now. And the truth is, I'm sure, very evident to you. The Christ light, the divine light is shining so strongly, you couldn't not see it. You have to see it. It's being lit up in neon, cosmic, divine relief. The shadow is so strong. It is black with its own turmoil of separation and illusion, and despair and pain. So remember, beloved ones, why you are here. And each time something comes up in your life, it feels as though it is not from love and it is not creating love, make yourself bigger. Breathe yourself into a greater expansion. Feel yourself identify with the divine cosmic heart, embracing not just the whole earth, but the whole galaxy, the whole universe, the whole cosmos. And just hold that presence. Breathe. Smile in your heart with the benign, loving presence divine. And as you embrace all that is, feel the love coming like the ocean, crashing on the shores of those negativities you are either feeling or seeing or experiencing. And bring that vast, huge cosmic love, that ocean of divinity. Feel it like those pebbles on the beach that the waves pull back into the ocean. All the obstacles, all the darkness, all the negativity, all the pain. Feel that cosmic ocean coming and pulling it back to itself. That noise that the stones make as they are drawn along the beach by those vast ocean waves, drawing all back to the vastness of the oceanic heart divine. You are the ocean. The ocean waves are always tumbling, crashing in your heart, cleansing pain and sorrow, disappointment and despair, grief and sadness, fear and doubt, the pebbles that your soul has made through life's journeys on the shores of time, as the timeless cosmic heart within you goes on and on expanding as you dwell within the cosmic love. So just breathe, beloved ones, and think. Let your mind come in to observe. Decide what you will allow the cosmic divine waves to claw back, to be dissolved, and the love of the Creator's cosmic divine heart. Blessings and peace, beloved.
Blessings and peace. Wow, that was very powerful. Indeed, I drifted off then.
And so, beloved ones, if you want to talk about anything, of course, to bring yourselves forward in good time.
Let's see if we have any questions.
Don't hurry. It's all right. Be not in a hurry.
We have a question from Elsa here. She
Greetings,
asks,
beloved.
she says, I have a muscle issue deep in my womb. What can I do to heal it? And what is the significance? Thank you.
Oftentimes supplements are really necessary for physical conditions, and magnesium, I'm sure you know, magnesium and calcium in the right proportions are very necessary for muscular balance and strength. So there may be something that has subtly become strained there, but I think that it is nutritional. I think that altogether, I believe you have been indeed paying attention to your nutrition a lot, beloved. When there are big emotional movements, evolution, and you are someone, which you are, who is constantly in that sense, we could say reaching, stretching, really lifting yourself up, aspiring, somebody who gives their life to self-improvement in that way. Oftentimes you do not notice that, shall we say, you have come to a new place. You need a new kind of nutrition or supplement or balance, or you have to understand your body in a particular way. That, you see, where this muscle is it in the lower body? I think it is in the middle, isn't it, around your hara? Is that correct? Is that correct, Jerome?
Yeah, it's kind of like at the top of on the right side.
It's to do with the liver. It's to do with emotion. It is all part of the.
I believe it's like just up from the right hip in that area.
It's connected with all the organs. The muscle is the inner. It's a very inner muscle, isn't it? I can see that it's inside there. It's right inside. So, you do quite a lot of physical type of energetic work, and what I think is that also with the nutritional aspect. Something needs to just have a little bit more stretch in it, and that is why I'm recommending the magnesium in particular, but internally, because it is good for the muscular flexibility. The other element of that can be very beneficial is the symphytum, the comfrey. Comfrey is extremely, it's called knit bone, but it also has a powerful effect upon the muscle. So it relaxes it as well as strengthening it. So I would say that, again, as an addition to, I'm sure, many good things that you are administering to yourself, take comfrey as well. Symphytum is the homeopathic equivalent, and either or both could be extremely beneficial. But what I believe, beloved, is that it is temporary. I do not think it's going to be something ongoing. I think there is a subtle combination of emotional and physical strain that is manifesting there. So again, if we come to the mental, emotional, try to feel where you have been stressed. What has been stressful for you in the last period. Breathe into it, almost talking to that muscle and saying, it's all right now. That's all over now. We don't, because it's always after the event that the body, after the emotional event, that the body expresses the stress. It's holding something from the past, if you understand. So there is a talking to the body, an empathing with the body, a saying almost, well, thank you for reminding me that, yes, I do know that I've been stressed, or whatever your word is for the emotion that's held there. And more or less commanding the body to let go of that tension. You've been reminded now. Thank you very much. Yes, that feeling has really reminded me that I need to take care of myself, that I need to pay attention, listen. And as you do that, as you tune into it, in a very calm way, if you understand, in that way that we're talking about, with the embrace, with the understanding of how much the body carries, especially if you are a spiritually aspiring being, and in that sense, putting yourself constantly into that mode of, I must do it better, I must get better, I must get stronger, I will get stronger. This effort that I can absolutely see is there, constant. It's beautiful. However, be kind and understanding, and realize that your body takes all of that. Peace, beloved.
Peace. Okay. There's a political question here from Dada. R.E. Donald Trump. Do you want me to ask it, or should we skip political questions?
Well, it depends. I mean, I would rather answer political questions in private sessions, really.
Yeah.
And Dada, you had a private session. You did not ask it then.
I believe it's Dada Cariculito. Maybe you could respond if that's you, Dada. I'm gonna move on. You could always ask that in a personal session. Alexandra Steed asks, any personal advice to help with the anger that flares up and the tension in my neck, back, causing migraines? Really struggling physically, even as I feel stronger emotionally and spiritually.
Well, anger is always... greetings, dear one. Wonderful to hear from you. Anger is always actually about power. Anger, when you get in touch with your anger, it's a great moment. As long as you know how to handle it, as long as it doesn't explode and blow you up while it's coming through. So, of course, it's a great test of your spiritual strength. And in general, normally, if you are on the spiritual path, it is one of your biggest challenges how to deal with anger. If someone's not on the spiritual path, well, they just go around smashing and crashing and ruining everything and, spewing their anger everywhere. And that, well, it's a terrible thing, obviously. You understand that's how so much damage happens in the world. Yet, anger is a sign that you're in touch with your primal life force, your survival instinct. It's the roar of the lion within you. You see, it is the power within you saying, "You can't stop me." You see, and so obviously, it's a good thing as well as a very dangerous. It's right on the edge there. It's a bit like fire. Fire can warm you and be the most wonderful asset in your life, and it can also destroy. And of course, anger's the same. It's very much often coupled, isn't it, with the fire element? And in fact, that's where I'm going with this. Take your anger to a fire. Be the fire, roar with the fire. Mind your voice, mind you, because oftentimes you could lose your voice if the anger is very, very strong. So make it very physical. Shake, roar, use a drum, use something that makes enough noise to justify that it could consume your anger. Gongs are very good. Drums, something that makes a really resonant sound that can get louder and louder and really represent the expression of your anger. And so, yes, I do understand that when you've suffered a lot, and you have suffered a lot, beloved, I know. And you've carried a lot in the line, in the bloodline. You're moving a lot of ancestral energy. We have spoken about this. And of course, you don't want to do that. Who wants to come to earth and have such a lot of pain? So many, bodily problems. This anger is like a body anger. I've had enough. And it kind of needs to come out because you're growing stronger. You're developing more presence, more personal power, more ability to deal with so much that you are bringing through, expressing light as well as pain. This is very much the path of the initiate, dear one. Very challenging. Extreme experiences that many don't understand. But the power of you is growing. And so now this challenge to deal with this energy that's actually trying to leave your body. It is an ancestral rage. It's not just yours in that sense. I'm not saying that to kind of let you off the hook because, well, you chose to be this person who is doing this work. And it's wonderful work. But you must remember, you see, who you are. As I have been talking today, you very much know the divine. You know the love divine. You have the capacity. You're a wonderful mother. You have so many qualities. But of course, coming down the bloodline is self-harm, is the inability to love the self and to receive love. This is what you're dealing with. And it hurts. It hurts every organ of the body. So you have been recovering the capacity of your body, both to receive love and to dissolve this old paradigm in the power of your spirit love. So take the anger to a fire. Make a ceremony of it. Lay down your pains and your burdens. Make a prayer or an object that you want to, that represents the pain, the suffering, and this anger, the frustration, and everything you've been through. And don't just do it once, just keep doing it. Don't expect your body to just recover overnight from something that's been going on for many, many years. Make it a practice. Go to the fire. Take your anger. Take what you don't need. Give it to the fire. Make a prayer. Make a song. Do it with all your heart and all your body. And trust in miracles. Peace, beloved.
Peace. On that note, maybe the tie cutting course could be good for her, Champu, because that's
Oh,
quite
absolutely.
a ceremony in it.
Peace, it has indeed. Yes.
Okay, let's see.
And if you were here, I would say, go with Jerome, who does most wonderful fire ceremonies. But that's right, that's for those who live nearby.
Wise Dragon says, good morning from BC. Hello, Wise Dragon. I'm not sure who Wise Dragon is, but hello. Salt of the Earth asks, I'm not sure who that is, but I think, yeah, Cariculito is Dada, so cool. Thanks, Dada. Dada comes on all our private live streams, which happen once a month, our longer ones. Salt of the Earth asks, can you please tell me what happens to our beloved pets when they pass? I recently lost my 20-year-old cat, and it has been very difficult for me. Please help me see clarity.
Peace, beloved. So the animals within the evolutionary spectrum are a little different to human beings. So some of the domesticated animals are beginning to come close to observing, coming right inside human life and thinking, do I want to be one of them? Do I like them? Shall I serve them? Shall I be? So the domesticated animals are part of a whole evolution very close to the human soul. And so the cats, the dogs, the horses, the cows, all these beings, and many more that I'm not necessarily mentioning then, because, of course, you see, there's such a power in the wilderness, in the wildness, in the wild animals. But also they begin to associate, of course, with the humans. And over time, many of them have come right inside the human homes and become part of the human evolution. And so we will talk specifically about the cats, because it could take a long time to talk about all the different ways in which animals evolve with their relationships with humans, and how interesting that is. A fascinating subject indeed. So let's talk about the cats. Now, the cats are a very extraordinary breed of beings. Cats, and many of you will know this, have often actually been humans in previous incarnations. So cats and humans have a very particular evolution together. And oftentimes, and I'm not looking especially right now into you, beloved, but we can, of course, do that, but it's better in a private setting.
This is Mayra Jotil, Xochitl, Myra.
Thank you. So yes, we can do that in a private setting, but just generically for everyone here. So your cat, but also in particular, I do know that you have a very special relationship with the cat people, but also with your cat. That is in spirit now and very close to you. Try to remember, spirit isn't over in Afghanistan. It's not over there or wherever you are. It's not the other side of the world. It is right here. There's no space in that sense. It's not the same. You see, physical space, you have time, you have space. But in terms of spirit, spirit is right here. There is no distance. So try not to think of your cat being somewhere far away, because your cat is connected with you now, if not more connected than your cat was when it was in a physical body. Because the cat beings, they are very shamanic. I don't know if you notice that with your cat, how psychic your cat is, how your cat seems to know when you're not well, or knows whether that person's a nice kind of person or not. And your cat has a deep knowing, and there are many who can psychically communicate with cats very well, many human beings. So just to go, because I can go on a long time about all of this, so I must keep it a little bit brief, but when your cat leaves the body, and these beloveds can tell you that there's a cat in this temple who is in the spirit world, and she lives in the temple. She's inside. She was consecrated. She became the temple cat. She's still in the temple, and she has a spirit name. And this is something that this family will attest to you, that they do know she's around, still working with us. Once a cat comes into a household that does spiritual work, any kinds of meditation or healing practice, the cat is now, you will notice that cat becoming involved. They become part of your temple staff, as you might say, your entourage, those who work with you. They do a lot of work, the cat beings, a lot of spiritual work. And so where do they go? Well, what I'm trying to explain is it's like you. Where do you go? Where do all beings go? Why do I welcome all the beings I welcome into the temple of light? Because they need naming. Because for the human mind, if they are not named, your mind forgets that they are still here. Because you have been trained to forget. But in the indigenous cultures, they know the ancestors are right here. They didn't go anywhere. They're still there. They are a resource of wisdom, of love, of presence. Because it is a wholeness ethos. The indigenous way, the earth-connected way, the spirit-connected way. Nothing ever got separated. They do mourn the fact that the beloved ancestors, the grandmothers and grandfathers, that they won't have them physically to hug forever, but they still hug them in their hearts and minds. They never stop loving them when they go to spirit. And so, you see, you are in a culture of forgetting, but you, in your love with your cat, and in the passion of that love and the closeness, you cannot be separated. You have remembered that oneness with your cat. So just remember your cat every day. Give him a wink and a nod. Understand. He's not far away. He or she. It shows me a he. But that might be because he's going to incarnate next time as a he. Or it could be because he's been a he. So, beloved, your cat on one level has gone back to the oversoul of which he was a part, but never loses contact with you. So you will get even more elevated now in your relationship with this beloved. Peace, dear one.
Peace. Another one on pets. The limes to bananas. Not sure who that is. I recently lost my 14-year-old dog as well on the day of the Lion's Gate. I'd love to hear more on that question too, about where our pets may be. I don't know if you've already just answered that.
Well, each species is a little specific, and as I say, I can't do them all necessarily right now, but so the dog. Who is the dog? Well, you understand that the dog came from the wolf. And I don't know if you can just stretch back and remember the sacred wolves. The wolves that would protect the tribe. The wolves who were part of the tribe because they would always feed them all kinds of whatever was not used by the humans in the tribe. They fed the wolves because the wolves would protect them against all kinds of wild animals that were not in any way, safe, that the tribes did not feel was safe. So this protection element of the dog, you know it well, don't you? You have guard dogs, you have hunter dogs, you have working dogs, because the wolf and the dog has always been friend to man. ever since forever. And so it's to realize, well, it only went wrong once people started to kill the wolves and started to come away from the nature and away from the natural order of things. But they've always been very close. And in the shamanic work, the wolves are guarding the edge of the field. So we come to the dog. The dog is going to protect you. Well, you know it. I'm sure you understand when the dog barks and, I don't know this person, who is it? I don't like that smell. It's not, well, that doesn't live here, that thing. Well, what is it? Woof, woof, and off on it goes until you come in and say, it's all right. They're my friend. And the dog listens and rather cagily watching because it's got to make up its own mind. And when that being coming in is clearly being kind to you and nice to you and loves you, your dog will settle down and accept that stranger. So he's a protector. He is also very much your soul friend. So if you can understand, the dog has this desire to also take on. He will carry your load. He carries things. He pulls. He works. He works with you. He's a worker, really. And if he's not a farm dog working on the land or that kind of work, he's going to pull your load with you psychically. So dogs will often seriously take on physical illness, emotional conditions, and mental neuroses. And so that is often what happens with dogs that go a bit loopy. They've been with an owner that hasn't looked after them, and they end up in as rescue dogs, and then someone comes to try to heal them, and they have difficulty because that dog has seriously taken on the condition of a previous owner. So this service that dogs give, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing to observe and to know. And so in the spirit world, again, your dog does not experience themselves as going away from you. After a while, it might be so that the dog will reincarnate, might even come back to you if you have a very powerful relationship with that dog. And some dogs have such a passion to be with that being, to evolve with that being, to serve that being, to be the friend and the guardian and the protector. That's my human being. Don't let anybody else come. I'm coming back. I'm going to come in another form. And they often do that. So this is a little bit of a different relationship. It's quite a practical, kind of down-to-earth relationship. The dog is very much helping you work, helping you move energy, move emotion, and still will be doing that for quite a long time while in the spirit world. I can see that your dog is still working with you, but is also having exactly those thoughts, thinking, I wonder if I can get back there somehow. And so there's a kind of real feeling and energy in that. And it depends. Sometimes you might well find that you just get drawn to a puppy, and that is, in fact, your dog coming back to you. I'm just saying it could be. I am not looking that deeply to say it is. Peace, beloved.
Peace. We got like a couple more, so we'll have to just shorten the question to answer time a little bit. Clara Cardamone. I've had a being visit me recently who has a tall, tubular kind of hat. Could you see who it is, please? Lots of love.
He's an old seer. He's from a time when he's taking me back, a long way back, to an ancient practice that seems to be part of the Sufis. It's a Sufi, it's an old Sufi, it's an old dervisher. I say old, I mean as in ancient. He's coming from a long lineage of... that hat has something to do with it's not the dervishing hat. He has actually has quite a lot of costumes he's showing me. But one of his practices is dervishing, and he's been a teacher of yours, and he has a beautiful disposition. He's very, very strong, and he's here to bring you balance, to bring you kind of philosophical balance. He's a seer, and and a wise old teacher of yours. He says, I'm Shamash. He says, I'm Shamash. Peace, dear one.
Peace. Deborah Conan.
Greetings, beloved.
Might be Conan, actually. You have to forgive me. I'm not great at pronunciations and stuff. Doing my best here. I've been feeling a bit disconnected and not so creative lately, and a bit apathetic about my work. Any ideas on why this is so?
Well, beloved, you're an energy worker, and sometimes you are at your height, and sometimes you're building up again to another height. You have to have down times. When you're a creative artist, you don't go along at the top all the time, because you are expressing everything. You are bringing energies in from below, from above, from around, and you are very holistic in your embracing of life. And you've done a lot of work as well, ancestral work of late. And so, well, during this period, of late, in this period, and in your life generally, you're very much working with the spirits. And also, well, I don't have to tell you how much you've been lifting up for people. And sometimes, and this happened a few times, that you find you absorb some of that negativity. It's very natural. It's not a matter of, I must get it off me. I must change. It's just, again, that's partly why I brought this meditation and contemplation forward for you today, because you've been dealing with so much negativity. In general, it doesn't even mean that you have to be confronting it or going out there and, rattling anything. It is simply everywhere at the moment that you are one of those who's bringing through the light, but that means also that you have to deal with a lot of the dark. And that's why also I brought this meditation contemplation in for you and all those light workers very challenged at this time. When you're a leader, and you are a leader, whatever it may seem in the form of your leadership, what you need, in fact, is also that in the downtime you get some support. You're always supporting people, and then when you have that moment for yourself where you really could do with being held, with being honored, with being told how wonderful your work is, with being fed back the reflection of your creative achievements, and there's no one there. It's a very human thing to just go within and to let yourself go down, to kind of let yourself down so that you can open up, relax, and in the depth, in fact, you are lifted up. And that is, in fact, if you look back, that is your way, beloved. That is how you've come through the darkest of dark times. You will come through, beloved. You will come through. Peace, dear one.
So, JT Peace, beautiful Chongpu, could you explain the significance of the Taurus field energy, the number sequence 369, and how we can harness its vibration in our life? Infinite love and blessings and peace.
Well, it's so interesting how, whether you express it mathematically or philosophically or mystically or spiritually, emotionally or physically. This is what I've been talking about today, this field of power, this life force that is within each individual, within each planet, within every star, and within the whole cosmos. It's to understand the quantum nature of reality. It is why I can say to you, you are God, Goddess, or God, Goddess is within you. These are words. These are forms of understanding for the human mind and soul in incarnation. Once you leave the body, you enter that quantum field. You are no longer sort of held down into any kind of limitation, and you are then in the universe, which is that quantum field. That's what that is that you are describing. These are words, these are descriptions of forms that have been understood and seen in their purest expression. How do you live with it? Well, depending on what your language, what your way in is to understand the quantum field or the divine presence or the as within, so without, as above, so below, as in the mini cosm of every cell, so in the whole universe. Once you study it from any angle, again, that is why I brought that forward today. It is presence. It is love. It is beingness. It is peace. And it is compassion that hold you in the highest frequency, which is why that form, the 369, everything that it is, for you speaks. For you, it is the doorway into understanding and to coming to that peace and that presence. But that is what matters. It matters not really how you come to understand the brilliance and perfection of yourself and the universe that can bring you to a place of acceptance, peace, love, and presence. That is one way. Peace, beloved.
Peace. So we just got one more question. Joanna Mitchell.
Beloved.
I'm asking my mother questions. I wrote in one side of a notebook with my right hand, and then she comes through if I write with my left hand on the other side of the notebook. She doesn't always come through, sometimes feels distant, but it seems to help a little to connect with her and to help to heal this deep wound. Thank you.
What a wonderful discovery, beloved. Very good indeed. Yes. Yes, that is the thing. Your non-dominant hand, if you can allow it, if you can get a nice flow, if you're right-handed and it's your left hand, it's especially, connected with your heart. Oftentimes, if you're left-handed, you have a very strong, in fact, right brain reality, and then your right hand is the non-dominant hand, and it brings through a lot of the emotion on this side, very much governed in that sense by the liver. So it's realizing that's it. Your non-dominant hand is going to allow an expression through. And you say she's not always coming through. Yes, I understand what you mean, but that was her, wasn't it? Not to come through. So that is also an expression of her. I'm not coming through. I'm not going to be there for you. You just understand that it's all, you are connected with your mother. It's just that she hasn't changed completely. She has changed in some aspects. And I can certainly tell you that she's very grateful that you're working so hard to connect with her. Because she didn't know how to do that. She couldn't do that in life, and she still can't do it. And so those times when she doesn't connect, don't think there's anything wrong with you. Just understand, that's your mother. Peace, beloved.
Peace. Well, thank you so much for your questions today. And we always love hanging out with you. And yeah, we'll carry on with just a little something special from Chung Fu if we're lucky, maybe.
Well, what a beautiful gathering. Thank you all so much for coming forward today. You brighten this temple of light with your love, with your inquisitive minds and your open hearts and your willingness to connect with the divine. So, as we come to the end of our time together, we give great gratitude. Gratitude is so important in every life. I would like you all to think and feel of something you are very grateful for in your life. It can be so simple as how I feel right now, or anything that you choose. I would like you to kind of name it inside your heart and realize that you have created everything as well that you are grateful for. Everything that you are, everything that you think, feel, say, and do, you have created it. And you can change it. You are extraordinary creator beings who can change everything if you want to. If you desire to change, you can. And you have to desire it with all your heart. And it has to be for that purpose of being closer to the love divine. That is when you get, if you like, divine permission to transform yourself, because it is in the name of that which is divine. So feeling the gratitude for what you have created, and also for what seems to be a divine gift, especially when you feel blessed with divine gifts. And when you think about your life, how many divine gifts there are in the elements, the very earth you walk on, the air you breathe, the water you wash, drink, cook, the water that falls from the sky to help the plants to grow, that waters the earth, the fire that is the solar presence, the fire that is in the very heart of the earth. So much to be grateful for, but above all, together here, let us open our hearts in great gratitude for the divine presence within each and every one. Let us smile with the wonder and the beauty that is the human being. Incredible, extraordinary, unique, and divine nature of the human soul. Let us raise up our hearts in gratitude to be alive. For every experience, dark or light, that brings each of our souls closer and closer in and in to the very center of the divine heart of love that can then expand, radiate, and bring in the divine presence into every aspect of our life. And then let us think of what we can bless with this gratitude, with this presence. Perhaps it will be the food you make or the food you eat. Perhaps it will be your beloved partner who you love, or your children. Who will you bless with your divine presence, with your gratitude, with your love, with your vast, all-encompassing heart? Think of your family. Think of your friends. And your home. And then think of the world, this planet full of human beings. And then come back to that vast embrace as we give thanks. We give thanks for life itself, for all the beauty and wonder of creation that surrounds you, in all dimensions, in all frequencies of light, all the creations in this eternal life, in which you can look forward to infinite adventure and wonder ongoing throughout the dimensions. Breathe. Feel deep appreciation for your guides and helpers, luminous beings who journey with you through your life. Family, friends, pets, beloveds in the spirit world, relations, and ancestors. Feel the wonder of the multidimensionality of so many beings who come from so many frequencies. Giving thanks for all the love that comes to each and every one of you when you open your heart to receive it from deep within. As you go forward in your lives, remember, we walk with you, we who are the spirit beings of light, ascended beings, angelic beings, and deities. We love you. You are held in the divine heart of cosmic love. And every day may the living spirit that is within all things come forward to bring light and understanding to your mind, positivity of thought and clarity of perception. Bring to your heart resilience, love and joy that is beyond reason, compassion, courage, and confidence, deep soul connection. And bring to your body good health, the divine light of love, peace and harmony and joy, abundance of all you need, coming to you in the beauty way with the greatest of ease. And deep understanding that is beyond the mind. Blessings and peace to you all.
Blessings and peace. Great